When I was growing up, I'd play on the Nintendo Wii all the time. And I'd play it with my brother, my sister, sometimes my mum and dad. And I've been trying to think about why I look back on these times playing on the Wii when I was a kid with such fond memories. They've had such a huge impact on my life. Even recently, I dressed up as the Wii Sports disc on a night out at uni, and people thought it was funny. The Wii and the games on the Wii seem to have such a big impact on a lot of people's lives, including my siblings and my best friends, and I wanted to try and figure out why that was. Now you're probably wondering, Peter, why are you being so sentimental about all this? Well, it's because I have to do this video essay so I can pass university, but also on top of that, I've just been reminiscing on the old times that I used to game, because right now I'm feeling quite fatigued. The games I'm playing aren't making me as happy as I used to be when I played games, and I've just tried to figure out why that is. What I said before about so many people playing on the Wii, I think that was part of why it's so popular. The Wii was mainly local co-op. They didn't have online multiplayer. The online service on the Wii was quite bad. So a lot of the games would focus around playing together on the same console with split screen. And that's the difference between online and local co-op for those that don't know. When you play online, you play with someone else from around the world who's playing on a different console. But when you play locally, you all play on the same one, looking at the same TV. And I think that made the experience of playing on the Wii so much better. It wasn't just me playing these games, and it wasn't just my brother or my sister or my friends. My mum, my dad, and sometimes my grandparents would come and play with us. If we bugged them enough, that was. But I got my nan to play on the Wii, and this isn't just my British nan, this is my Italian nan. This woman lived through the Second World War and migrated to England from Italy, and here she is being forced to play a game of Mario Kart with her grandchildren. And you know what? She loved it. Now this could have been because of all the positive Italian representation in Nintendo games, but to be honest, if it wasn't for the local co-op that the Wii was so popular for, I don't think she'd know what a video game was. And thinking about this and doing all the research for this video essay, it made me realise that I haven't played a local co-op game, or a new one for that matter, for a very long time. Now why is that? Now where do we start? How can we tell if local co-op is gone? Well, Nintendo was always huge at bringing consoles together. Reggie once said,
"We from Nintendo means just what it sounds like. We. It's the sound of inclusion, the sound of every gamer you know and every new gamer who's going to join us. It's a giant leap for gaming, for everyone around the world."
So surely they still have local co-op, right? Well, yes, they do, but not really. The Nintendo Switch is the most recent console that Nintendo has come out with, and it does still have a wide array of co-op games. There's Mario Party, the 12th one of the series. There's Nintendo Switch Sports, which is just a much worse version of Wii Sports, but that's fine. There's also Super Smash Bros., which in all fairness is a better version of the one on the Nintendo Wii. So that's one good one. There's Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8, which also, other than being the 8th installment in the series, is largely just a remaster of the best tracks from the previous games. And this game only exists on the Switch because it flopped on the Wii U, which I'm not going to get into. I could spend another whole video essay talking about the Wii U, but the Wii U didn't do well, so let's release Mario Kart on the Switch. But yeah, there are local co-op games, but there isn't any that aren't just sequels or remasters. These are just the same games as before, and actually, there's fewer than there were for the Wii. So what about their original stuff, the things that Nintendo has come out with to try and push the bar? Well, you have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. That's single player. Mario Odyssey. Well, yes, it's technically 2-player, but that's only if player 2 is willing to be Mario's hat for the entirety of the game, and I can promise you that my younger siblings wouldn't have wanted to play a hat for a full game. But yeah, there's also the new Pokemon games, but I know that they're single player too. So no, I guess co-op games aren't extinct, there just aren't any new ones. And the ones that do get sequels, well, they don't do so well. Wait. What's this? 1-2 Switch is a pretty good game. It's fully local co-op. It is mainly against 2 people at once, but still, it's so fun. It does all the things that the old local co-op games used to do on the Wii, and it's the only game that I've played on the Switch that my whole family have gotten involved with. Yes, that's right, including my Italian nan. She's played this game. We've milked cows, we've shot each other. This game is just madness. You can play a gorilla and try and find a mate. You can be a pirate and open a treasure chest. It is amazing, and you'd think that after this, Nintendo would still be releasing local co-op games. But they haven't, like we said before. They haven't released anything else that's new. 1-2 Switch is their only local co-op game that I can find, which is a new concept that actually really does something with the local co-op gameplay methods. But Nintendo aren't the only game developers that release local co-op games. There has to be more, right? There has to be more modern games that are local co-op. There used to be split-screen COD, we all remember that, and the Modern Warfare games. What about now? No. Oh, well, that's fine. That's fine. What about split-screen Halo? I didn't play that so much, but my friends did. No. Oh, that's gone too. Minecraft used to have it. Okay, Minecraft still has it. God, I would have cried if not. But why are these games getting rid of local co-op? Why have the times of blowing up my brother with a grenade, using his screen so I can find where he is on the map and kill him in a 1v1? There's no way to push them off the sides of the map, no way to make your little sister cry because you're unable to comprehend the idea that you can let her win and lose on purpose. Where have these very fair and just times of gaming gone? Well, one of the reasons why local co-op is starting to disappear is because games are so good. Stick with me here. Games are getting huge, graphics are becoming more and more realistic, open worlds are being, well, more open, but also these open worlds are being filled with more side quests, buildings, items, and I don't know about you, but my console struggles to load the bare minimum most of the time. So now imagine that it has to load that twice, or 3 times, or maybe 4. Now that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for games to now have local co-op, but there's another. And this is something that's had such a negative effect on a lot of our games, and that's crunching. Many big game studios have been accused of crunching. Games have been given really early deadlines, which mean developers are being forced to work massive overtime to get these games out by their release date. Because of these tight deadlines, developers are having to cut corners. Games are being released without being fully finished, and that means that they don't include all the features that the developers initially intended to be in the game. And local co-op is one of these features, especially when online multiplayer has become so popular. Developers don't include local multiplayer anymore because it's one of the features that they can't program in the short time frame they're given when developing games. Looking at local co-op, it's definitely these 2 reasons as to why big games from AAA companies are no longer including local co-op. But not every game's huge, not every game has a crunched development process. And those games are indie games. Games like Overcooked, Cuphead, and the Entitled Goose Game all take advantage of local co-op to elevate their games to make them more funny, more stressful, and it works. These games are fantastic, and their popularity largely stems from the fact that they're the few local co-op games that have recently been released. And it's games like this that are keeping local co-op alive. It's really hard for me to see that AAA titles are abandoning this practice, but this has meant that indie games are able to capitalize on it. And that's been great for me, because these games have been so fun to play, but I still think local co-op is declining. Maybe not in the sense that games aren't being released as local co-op, but local co-op that's accessible for everyone is still dying. These games released by indie studios are fun for me, and my brother and my sister, who all know how to play video games, but I don't think my mum and dad and my grandparents would be able to play these games. And I think that's the big shame with all of this, is that gaming for all was such a good idea, but I think we've lost that in these recent years. I've just got to hope that the success of these indie studios releasing local co-op games shows the AAA companies that they can still release local co-op and it still be successful. And with any luck, one day they'll release a sequel to 1-2 Switch.